What made my entire family go silent when I announced my engagement? I'd been dating Ryan for 2 years, and when he proposed last weekend at that little hiking trail we always went to, I thought I was going to die from happiness. The ring was perfect, nothing fancy but exactly what I wanted. I waited until everyone had finished eating Mom's famous lasagna before I stood up and cleared my throat. I had this whole speech planned out about how Ryan made me laugh every day and how we were planning a small wedding next spring. But the second I held up my hand to show off the ring, the entire table went dead silent. My mom's fork literally froze halfway to her mouth. Dad stopped chewing completely. My sister Katie just stared at me with this weird expression I couldn't read. Even my grandma, who usually has something to say about everything, just sat there looking uncomfortable. The silence stretched on for what felt like forever. Finally, my mom set down her fork and asked to see me in the kitchen. I followed her, totally confused, while Ryan stayed at the table trying to make awkward small talk with my dad. Mom turned around and her face was pale. She asked me if I was absolutely sure about Ryan, which seemed like a strange question since I just announced we were engaged. When I said yes, she got this pained look and told me there was something I needed to know. Apparently, Katie had seen Ryan at a coffee shop downtown last month. He was sitting really close to some blonde girl, holding her hand across the table. Katie took a picture because she wasn't sure if she should tell me or not. My heart started racing as Mom pulled out her phone. There was Ryan, clear as day, with his fingers intertwined with this woman I'd never seen before. They were both laughing about something, and he was looking at her the same way he looked at me. Mom said Katie had been debating whether to show me the photo for weeks. I felt like the floor dropped out from under me. I asked why nobody had told me sooner, and Mom said they were hoping it was just a misunderstanding. Maybe it was his cousin or a work friend, but when I announced the engagement, they realized they couldn't keep quiet anymore. I went back to the dining room feeling nauseous. Ryan was still chatting with my dad about football scores like nothing was wrong. I sat down and showed him the picture on Mom's phone. His face went completely white, then red, then he started stumbling over excuses. First he said it was his cousin visiting from out of state. Then when I pointed out that he'd never mentioned having a cousin, he changed his story to a coworker who was going through a divorce and needed emotional support. The lies kept changing every few seconds. My dad stood up and very calmly told Ryan he needed to leave. Ryan tried to argue, saying it wasn't what it looked like, but Dad just pointed toward the door. As Ryan was gathering his stuff, he had the nerve to turn to me and say we could work through this if I really loved him. That's when my sister Katie finally spoke up. She told Ryan that she'd actually followed him after taking that photo and watched him kiss the blonde woman in the parking lot. She'd been sitting on that information for a month, hoping she was wrong about what she saw. Ryan left without another word. I sat there at my family's dinner table, still wearing the engagement ring, feeling completely humiliated. But then my grandma reached over and patted my hand. She said she was proud of our family for having my back, even when it meant delivering terrible news. The worst part? I found out later that the blonde woman was actually Ryan's ex-girlfriend from college. They'd been seeing each other behind my back for at least 3 months. He was apparently trying to decide between us, like we were menu options at a restaurant. My family never said I told you so. They just helped me return all the wedding magazines I'd already bought and supported me through the breakup.